What is the current situation in Sudan after a year of war? To answer this, we must first understand the events that led to the outbreak of conflict. The heart of this war lies in the power struggle between the Sudanese Armed Forces, or SAF, and the Rapid Support Forces, known as the RSF. This strife escalated due to an internationally backed plan to integrate the RSF into the army. The leader of the RSF, a man named Hemedti, has been at the center of this tension. His forces have faced accusations of committing atrocities, significantly undermining their legitimacy. As a result, various armed groups, including civilians under the Takadum coalition, have decided to join the conflict. The power struggle and subsequent conflict has resulted in a devastating humanitarian crisis, with the war spreading across multiple regions. The war in Sudan has led to infrastructural collapse and displacement of millions. In the span of a year, this conflict has wreaked havoc, spreading across multiple regions and pushing 8.2 million people from their homes. The intensity of this crisis is felt most acutely in Darfur, a region now scarred by reports of ethnic cleansing. Families have been torn apart, communities shattered, and lives forever altered by this brutal conflict. These displaced millions, both within Sudan and beyond its borders, are not merely statistics. They are mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, friends and neighbors, each with a story of loss and survival. The United Nations has labeled the situation in Sudan a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions. This is not a term used lightly. It signifies a level of suffering and need that is vast and demands immediate and sustained global attention. With nearly half of Sudan's population requiring aid and over 7.5 million displaced, the situation in Sudan is dire. In response to the crisis, the international community, including organizations like the UN, have made efforts to mitigate the situation. The International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor, Karim Khan, is spearheading an investigation into the alleged war crimes committed in the recent flare-up of this long-standing conflict. Accusations of atrocities have been leveled against both the Sudanese Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces, with the latter led by Hemedti facing a significant loss in legitimacy. The United Nations has made an urgent appeal for $4.1 billion in aid to address the crisis. Sudan is now in the throes of one of the world's largest displacement and protection crises, with over half of the country's population in dire need of humanitarian assistance. Despite these international efforts, the fighting continues to escalate, with ceasefires failing to hold and peacemaking efforts proving ineffective. Multiple regions are experiencing infrastructural collapse, and the number of displaced persons has surged to a staggering 8.2 million. The war has spread, with Darfur being particularly affected and reports of ethnic cleansing becoming increasingly frequent. A year on, the situation in Sudan remains critical, with the need for a resolution more urgent than ever.